Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand the trade setup as well as the market strategies you need to follow for today. Remember, it's the first day of the July month and a fresh new quarter as well. Of course, we will be really looking at a whole host of data points from global markets and domestic markets to see what kind of cues will shape up on trade today. Let's start off with the wrapping up. The index snapped a 4-day of a winning streak. It was a pause for breath that we actually saw on the benchmark indices front yesterday, but definitely it was the broader markets that were outperforming in yesterday's trading session. Remember, in the last 4 days, we'd seen the Nifty gaining about 650 odd points, moving towards the record high levels. And of course, yesterday we did see both the Nifty and the Nifty Bank starting the new week and the new series on the back foot as well. But of course, the broader market stood tall. PSU banks emerged as the outperformers, and we will see if there is any continued action on that front even today. Now, all the action begins today with companies also starting to report their auto sales numbers. So the auto sector will clearly be in focus. Along with it, a lot of companies are now reporting their business updates for the June quarter ahead of their final results. Like companies like Irida and NCC have already started to share their respective business updates. That will be in focus as well. The Nifty heads into this beginning of a new month and another earnings season, and of course having closed the month of June on a relatively subdued note. Now, of course, today is also the weekly expiry of Sensex contracts, a date generally associated with volatility, so keep that factor in mind as well. US markets, they ended higher, 0.5% up on Monday. The trade thaw is fueling some kind of an optimism. Canada has abandoned its planned 3% digital services tax on US tech firms, so thereby reopening the bilateral trade talks between the two countries as well. Now, what we have also seen is that the US markets they shut shop higher yesterday, 0.6% up for Dow Jones, Nasdaq up by half odd percent, S&P 500 also half odd percent. For the quarter, S&P 500 is up by 10%, Nasdaq is up 17.8%, Dow is up 5%. So it's a stellar run up for the quarter as well for the US markets and indices. Oil prices remain now flat and the US 10-year bond yield is at 4.23%. Now, what we've also seen is that statements with President Trump has made will be important to see. He sent a letter to Federal Chairman Jerome Powell telling him that he is too late in cutting the interest rates. So therefore, that will be an important factor to track going forward from here. Plus, Donald Trump has also threatened fresh tariff levels on Japan, citing rice exports as well. He's spoken on Truth Social saying that they won't take our rice and yet they have a massive rice shortage. Trump has posted on June 30th on social media. In other words, we'll be just sending them a letter and we love having them as trading partner for many years to come as well. So that will be another trading aspect that we will have to track as well. Asian markets, they opened cautiously in trade today. We also did see that the Japanese equities dipped on lingering concerns over the impact of President Donald Trump's tariff agenda. Nikkei fell about 0.9% at the opening trade as well. What we've also seen is that the Hong Kong index is closed today. So do not look at that Hang Seng level right now. It's not operating. It is shut on account of a holiday. Kospi is up by 1.2%. You're seeing the Chinese index up by about 0.2%. Gift Nifty is indicating a muted start again in trade today. So we'll see how things really pan out for the Indian stock markets again. For India and for China, the manufacturing PMI final figures for June, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell's address at the 2025 European Central Bank Forum in Portugal, and the mixed global cues will be all impacting the sentiments in trade today, and that's something that we will be watching out for. Let's now welcome our guest on board, Mr. Vineet Bulinchkar. He's the head of research at Ventura Securities and he's joining in on the program with us. Hi Vineet, warm welcome. Good morning to you. First up, help us understand what's your thought? It's the beginning of the second half of the calendar year. So far we've had a lot of volatility. Everything that could potentially go wrong has probably gone wrong in the first half of the calendar year. Yet the markets are now finally proving themselves to be resilient, inching back to the record high levels also. So what's the thought process that you're entering the second half of the calendar year with now?
See, in the last quarter, we've had roughly three shocks with, Iran, Pakistan, and with Ukraine. And we've climbed virtually every wall of worry, and we are sitting at highs. And with the government having reacted the way it has done on the monetary policy and fiscal policy, I think that we are going to see some very stellar runs coming in. I believe that this quarter, the Q1 numbers that come and the and the translation of all the efforts taken by the government should play out now. We've also had a very good rainfall. And typically, July is a very strong month. So I expect very good numbers to come in and cheer the markets.
Any outperforming spaces that you're betting big on for the earnings, sir?
So I think, your hospitality is going to do very well. NBFCs and and of course the manufacturing space. These three are going to do extremely well going ahead.
Fair point. So that's the expectation as far as the earnings season goes. Of course, we will be also talking about several other pockets that will be of interest to all our viewers as well. Just wanted to kickstart with the auto space because that's going to be in the thick of action today with the auto sales figures coming in. What's been your approach on the auto space, both four-wheelers and two-wheelers so far? I mean, we have seen some of the select stocks that have been outperformers of the recent past, but again, there have been time and again headwinds that the sector has been consistently faced with. What is your fresh approach to the auto space as far? Do you like the two-wheelers? Do you like the four-wheelers, the tractor makers? What exactly appeals to you?
So two-wheelers are my number one pick,
Okay.
primarily because in the space settle down in terms of the players in the two-wheeler EV market. I think the boys have been separated from the men, and from
Okay.
here, stocks which have been doing very well will do extremely good going out. So TVS, Hero, and Ather Energy look good from a medium to long term perspective.
Okay, so that's the two-wheeler stocks that are your top preferences, and one should definitely look at all of that. What about the defense space? BEL again has secured new orders worth 528 odd crore rupees, and we have been consistently seeing some of the other company within the defense pack constantly talk about new orders flowing in. But I want to put this question to you because we've already seen in the last 2 months a run-up happen on the defense stocks yet again. The question is, should investors at these levels be a little cautious again from entering into the defense pack? Is the most of the good news already priced in, or do you think these defense names can be accumulated at every level for the long-term investors?
So I believe that with the war mongering, coming to its, it's past its crescendo. I think that there will be a little softness in these stocks, but you should buy in at lower levels because the world is going to arm itself very furiously in the coming days ahead. Each nation has its own priorities. There are regional conflicts brewing everywhere. So if you have to defend yourself, you have to forearm yourself. And I think there will be you know everyone moving around that. So I believe that Indian defense is going to do extremely well going ahead.
Okay, got that. Let's look at the pre-open trade, 25,478. So the markets have started on the back foot, about point 0.4, about 38 points lower, 50 points lower now in trade. So 25,481 being seen on the markets right now. The Indian rupee has also opened at 85.6. It's almost flattish that we have seen from yesterday's level that we have seen. Now I think Bajaj Auto is coming out with the numbers. We should definitely keep an eye out on that too. So the total sales are coming at 3.6 lakh units, up 1% on a year-on-year. The June domestic sales have come in at 1.88 lakh units, down 13% on a year-on-year basis. Exports have come in at 1.72 lakh units, that's 21% higher. So domestic sales have fallen on a year-on-year basis, but it's the exports that have risen. Is it just the base effect beneath here that is working for Bajaj? What exactly do you foresee in these numbers?
No, so it's the performance gone by, and I think from here we will see better numbers for him. So any dip should be bought into in these markets.
Okay, got that. So that's the first number that we have got for Bajaj Auto within the auto space. Right now, as per most of the expectations were that two-wheelers are likely to, outperform in terms of the sales figures that will be reported. And that's the first number that we have seen. flattish on the total sales, just a 1% of an uptake, but exports rising much better, and domestic sales kind of slackening at this point in time as far as Bajaj Auto is concerned. We'll also be looking at several other pockets. I wanted to discuss with you some of the business updates that are truly coming in, especially Irida is something that I wanted to discuss with you, sir. Now, this stock has been a lackluster stock from a long time. It's been consolidating. Only in the initial few weeks and months, the stock really went up sharply after getting listed. And after that, it's really entered into a consolidative zone as well. How would you look at the business updates that have come in? Disbursements up by 31%. State-run company has also talked about its business update for the April to June quarter, where they expect, to disburse loans. They have disbursed loans about 5,326 odd crore rupees in the base quarter, up from, about 31% up, and now it's come to 6,981 odd crore rupees. Any suggestion on Irida, sir?
So, if Irida has got good numbers, then I think REC and PFC will also report stellar numbers.
Okay.
Uh, Irida is quite expensive compared to the other two players. So, my bet is more with REC and PFC being extremely undervalued compared to Irida.
Okay, got that. So that's the viewpoint that's coming in. Another aspect is that the jet fuel prices have been hiked in Delhi. The ATF, or the aviation turbine fuel, has been hiked by 6,271 rupees per kiloliter to now 89,344 rupees per kiloliter in Delhi as well. Any negative impact do you see on Indigo, sir, of this?
I don't think so. Passenger traffic continues to remain buoyant, and this will definitely be a pass through for them. So I'm not
Okay.
seeing it impact the markets too much.
Okay, fair point. Before we get into more, news points from within the sectors and micro sectors, let me also discuss with you, sir. As we begin July, I think the next big trigger, apart from earnings that you pointed out, is also the July 9 deadline of the tariff deal that was initially talked about from the US. There are some statements coming in from the US saying that this deadline is not sacrosanct. Maybe this could be extended as well. But we're just a week away from the deadline, and right now we don't have a deal with India as yet. Again, there were some statements from Donald Trump who said that he's expecting a very big deal to be signed with India soon. Now, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt has confirmed that India and US are very close to a trade deal, and we have the bite as well for all our viewers to see. Let me play that bite and then come to Mr. Bullichkar to understand his viewpoints on the India-US deal and what are we looking for.
The president did announce last week that the trade deal with India is close and this could happen anytime soon. Are there any roadblocks as of now? Are there any updates on that? And how does the president see this about China's role or its influence in the Indo-Pacific region?
Sure, yes. The president said that last week, and it remains true. I actually just spoke to our Secretary of Commerce about it. He was in the Oval Office with the president. They are finalizing these agreements, and you'll hear from the president and his trade team very soon when it comes to India.
And on China? How do we counter China on that front?
Yes, I mean, look, India remains a very strategic ally in the Asia Pacific, and the president has a very good relationship with Prime Minister Modi, as you know, and he will continue to have that.
Okay, so a very close ally as India is being seen. There's finalizing agreements. You'll hear from the president and his trade team very soon when it comes to India. So these are some positive statements. Mr. Bulinchka, what is it that you would expect as a market participant from the trade deal that could come in? What is it that could really cheer the market? And is there anything that could dampen the spirits from here?
See, I know I'm not very optimistic the way Trump is going around, pushing his, trying to maintain the superiority of the Americans over the globe. He's not been able to sign a single deal with any other country. And no country is going to, part with anything that is going to be damaging for its interests. The Americans want massive radical reforms in dairy and agriculture, which India is not going to accept. And I'm not very optimistic about a deal going through. I think that there would be you know deadline being extended more as it may. But I'm very optimistic about textile stocks, because one thing that Trump said was, I don't care. I don't want socks to be made in the US. I would want heavy engineering, high-end manufacturing to happen on shore. So I believe that India will be a gainful beneficiary of the market share translation to India from China, and textiles is a massive beneficiary of this. So very bullish on textile stocks, garmenting in particular.
Okay, got that. So that's the viewpoint on that front as well. Let me just bring up a few more points for you to discuss, Vineet, with all our viewers. I wanted to discuss two sectors. One is the banking and financials. Now, we have seen in the first half of the calendar year, the Nifty bank outperforming, 12% of a rally coming in. Large participants have been the private sector banks, have been the financials as well. I want to understand, do you still think there is a lot of steam on the upside when it comes to the banking and financial names to be continuing to be outperformers for the second half of the calendar year? And if yes, then which is the segment that you would prefer? Will it be continuing to be the private sector banks? Would it be the financials? Or do you now see the upticks, fresh upticks coming in PSU banks as your preferred bet?
I would go with the microfinance segment out here.
Okay.
We have seen a reasonable amount of good noises on the microfinance businesses. So we like that segment. I think the underserved market is going to do very well because what is going to happen is that this 50 bips and the 25 bips prior to that was not anticipated much by the market. And there is going to be a little bit of trim on the NIMS. And before you pass on the deposit side of it to, you balance out your NIMS, it's going to take a while. Here, the underserved market players stand to benefit a lot, and there I think as I told you, the microfinance players and all the NBFCs are going to do reasonably well. So my
Okay.
bet is going with them.
Okay. Any thought on the upcoming HDB financial listing that will be coming in tomorrow? Would you be looking at it as a keen participant?
Bajaj Finance has got better credentials. Bajaj Finance is always, outgrown HDB financials. Numbers are very, very strong. So I think Bajaj Finance deserves a thumbs up.
Okay, one can actually look at Bajaj Finance vis-a-vis the newly listed or upcoming player as well, is what the thought process is. Let me just quickly reiterate for all our viewers how the markets have settled in the pre-open trade. Back in the green, 25,551 is where we are at, 34 points higher in trade. Top movers, Apollo Hospitals, Asian Paints, BEL, Hero Moto Corp. On the downside, you have names like SBI Life, Trent, IndusInd Bank, TCS and JSW Steel. Now, when it comes to the sectors, it could be real estate that could again be springing us some surprise, some moves on the higher side. Broader markets could be in focus, pharma, autos, FMCG also. IT also slightly higher in trade, and that's the second sector that I wanted to discuss with Vineet. So let me just come to that. IT sector, Vineet, we are just inching closer to the earnings like you pointed out as well. But the uncertainty and the overhang that we still have on how policies will be shaped up in US, whether there will be continued uncertainty on how the clients will be spending, slower closure of deals as something that has been highlighted by even KPIT Tech, what's being seen on Accenture guidance as well, only hiking the lower band but not the upper band right there. How are you looking at all of these aspects for the incumbent IT players?
I think, I'm not even looking at them, to be very honest, because my view has been quite negative for a while. So you're aware of that. And, concentrating energy is more on domestic stories. And I think that, you know, by tracking the IT stocks too much, you're wasting valuable bandwidth. Focus your energies on domestic sectors, which are really doing well. And I think that is where the growth is going to come from. Pharma looks very interesting if you want a defensive bet. Hospitals, diagnostics, that's where all the action is happening. And they are far better defensives than the IT pack as a whole.
Okay, fair point. Pharma. I think recently this CDMO space has again started to buzz, and you know how bigger players are now really looking at that as a key theme. That's something that you have also marked out for all our viewers in our previous interaction again. How are you looking at that? And also, how are you looking at Amazon's foray in the various healthcare divisions like home healthcare, diagnostic space, big players entering or trying to disrupt this space for the incumbent players who are already struggling with the new startups in this space. How are you looking at that aspect? So two aspects, CDMO as well as the diagnostics.
So look at Loris Labs, hitting all-time highs. It's going to do really well. I think one point is also, getting a bang for its buck. And there are going to be other players, Jubilant Ingrevia, all these players are going to do extremely well. Uh, CDMO is the space to be in within the pharma pack. And, top pick is uh, Loris and One Source. Uh, Apart from this, now, if you look at the other story that you mentioned, what was that you were talking about? The
So basically, Amazon recently has talked
right,
about a foray into the home diagnostic space.
yeah. So if you see the diagnostic space now, it's very underserved right now. So although we have many large players who are doing their bit, with Amazon coming in, what you are going to see is that the market is going to grow itself, right? It's going to explode. There is going to be faster consolidation happening, and within that, I think the listed space of stocks are going to do rather well. And within this, I think those stocks which have slight insulation in the form of Krishna Diagnostics, which does triple private public partnerships, they have a very very unique business model. And those players who are focusing more on radiology rather than pathology will see their margins do well. In both these cases, Vijay Diagnostics as well as Krishna Diagnostics score very well. So I think these two stocks, uh, because of their growth and their faster volume growth, is going to lead to is going to help these stocks perform rather well.
Okay, got that. I will also bring up Apollo Hospitals right there. It's moved to the high spot as far as the Nifty movers are concerned. The key trigger is also that Apollo Hospitals has announced a significant demerger on separate listing of its omni-channel pharmacy and the digital health business, including KeyMed. And the shareholders of Apollo will actually receive 195.2 shares in the newly listed company for every 100 shares held in Apollo Hospitals as well. Investor call is, of course, scheduled for today, and we will get more details on that. But Citi has a buy call on Apollo Hospitals, maintaining a target price of 8,260. Believes that it is a positive development for Apollo shares, and it is expected to narrow the 25 to 30% discount at which Apollo Hospitals business currently trades to peers like Max or the that's what the brokerage house has said. How would you look at Apollo Hospitals?
Yeah, it's a theme of value unlocking, wanting to play to the galleries where you get the re-rating. So you get the pieces demerged. And obviously, pharmacy and diagnostics are going to grow very aggressively. Digital healthcare is a very, very fast moving piece. So that's going to have very upended valuations and very sensible for Apollo to split these businesses and help shareholders gain value.
Okay. Quickly, Vineet, we will just look at the markets. They've opened on a higher note, 25,526, so mildly higher in the green as far as the Nifty is concerned. Apollo Hospitals right at the beginning is up by 4%. You have Asian Paints that jumped about 1.5%. BEL on fresh orders, 1.3% high. You also have Dr. Reddy's now inching higher from the pharma space. Geo Financial Services continues to move up, 328 right now. Tata Motors, Adani Enterprises, these are the other movers. Reliance Industries is also higher in trade. On the downside, you have Axis Bank that's down, Bajaj Finserv that's down, Tata Steel, Titan from the Tata Group, and Trent. Three of the Tata Group stocks are slightly down in trade. Let's look at the sectors. Well, India Wix is higher by 1.4%. Remember, it's the Sensex expiry as well of Tuesday. Well, let's also look at real estate. That's the one that's moving at the top spot, about 0.6% higher. Small caps and mid caps are up about 0.4% and 0.3% each, respectively. Let's look at infra, FMCG, oil and gas. These are the pockets that are higher. Banks are just about 0.1% higher for the Nifty Bank. Private banks about just flattish with a positive bias. IT is down just slightly. It's toggling between the highs and lows right now. Autos also toggling between the highs and lows. Financial services, metals and PSU banks giving up some of those those gains of yesterday, and consumer durables also slightly lower. Let me also reiterate for all our viewers what's happening on the F&O pack. Apollo Hospitals is the one that's top mover yet again. IDFC First Bank, Bharat Dynamics are the other stocks that are higher. On the PSU stocks front, it's being led by BEL, followed by HAL. Oil and gas stocks are higher like Oil India. NHPC is up. Railway stocks are also in focus right now. Let's actually welcome Mr. Gaurav Sharma, Associate Vice President and Head of Research at Globe Capital, also to join in on the panel with Vineet to help us understand his views on the markets. Hi, Gaurav, good to have you with us. Good morning to you. How do you see the markets opening right now? From last couple of days, I think we have been struggling around 25,500. What do you think will further the move that we had been seeing in the markets and probably take us back to the erstwhile highs?
Yeah, good morning, Sakshi, and good morning to the co-panelists and to the viewers. So today it is a muted start to the Indian brochures, and it came up after a decline seen in yesterday's trading session. But the positive stance was that Nifty still managed to settle above the 25,500 mark, which was a psychological support as well. When we look at the options data recently, it is indicating a little more slide to continue. So we may see some more profit taking in the coming sessions. When we look at specifically today, it is a host of data which will be declared all throughout the day, starting up with the S&P Nikkei manufacturing data, which is scheduled for 10:30. At around 2, the European CPI figures will be released later post-market around
Yeah.
7 p.m. India time. It is the Jaron Powell's speech is due, followed by the manufacturing data. So a lot of data will be released. So I am not seeing a very larger moves coming in today's trading session. There are good supports placed around 25,500, 25,400 spot levels, while on the higher side to 25,600, 700 will act as immediate resistances. So all in all, what I'm expecting is a largely two to 300 points move coming in the next 1 or 2 trading sessions.
Okay, fair point. Gaurav, we'll come back to you for your stock ideas that you're watching out for. In fact, if you could just share with us any top sectors or top stocks that you are looking at right now, because this is the beginning of the second half of the calendar year as we started off today. Are you looking at some sectors? And of course, we'll be heading into the earnings season as well. So what is your preference in terms of sectors and stocks?
I still like the PSU banking pack, namely Canara Bank, Bank Baroda, Bank India, are among the favorites. Apart from this, Indian Bank, Federal Bank are also some of the good stocks. We also like certain NBFCs, continue to like them, I would say rather. The to likes of PNB Housing, Aadhar, Housing Finance, even the Awas Housing, which rallied in yesterday's trade. We are expecting the smaller ones also joining the party now. So we see these companies posting good set of numbers going ahead. So we continue to maintain a positive outlook on this space.
Okay, fair point. Let me just bring up a few more sectors that are hovering higher. Real estate is the one that's the outperforming sector today, 0.7% nearly higher in trade, led by, of course, Raymond. This entire space is in focus. Of course, we'll be coming to that. Anant Raj, DLF, Oberoi Realty, Godrej Properties, all of them showing us some momentum. How are you really looking at the real estate pack right now, Gaurav?
When it comes to real estate stocks, I am very much choosy on that. What I am looking at is some profit taking, coming in Lodha, which is a good sign. If we can get it somewhere close to 1350, that could possibly be a good buying and an entry level. Apart from this, Oberoi Realty is yet to perform. So currently still it is trading around 1920, 1924 zone. Another 50, 70 points dips on this stocks will again provide it a good buying opportunity and then take it much closer to its support levels, which are around 1750. So one can consider a buy on that as well around those levels with a medium term outlook.
Okay, fair point. We were talking about Raymond. I wanted to bring that up. Of course, from the last 2 days, we've been seeing the Raymond listed stocks, two of them continuing to soar higher in double digits, high double digits as well. You're looking at Raymond and both Raymond Lifestyle celebrating. Today will be the day when Raymond Realty shares will be listed as well. And as per the effective May 1st, 2025 demerger date, under a 1:1 demerger ratio, every shareholder of Raymond Limited will receive one share of Raymond Realty as well. And now the Raymond Group will be, focused on the three vertical approach. That will be engineering, will be one division, lifestyle will be the other, and real estate will be the other. So investors will have a three-pronged strategy, or probably three places to choose from as to which area of Raymond do they want to participate in. I wanted to understand from you, Gaurav, how are you looking at the Raymond Group right now? Raymond 2.0, it's being talked about from Gautam Singhania as well. He's talking about a fresh approach, new vigor. He's wanting to take the market after the group after 100 years of successful operations in the country. He's looking at, fresh new wave of approach.
Yes, so I also saw that interview of Mr. Gautam Singhani on various news channels. So what I reckon is that now, in the past, from the past decades, Raymond was considered to be a company just into the suitings, the apparel business. Now it is the time, rightly said, the Raymond 2.0 is a much diversified version that is entering larger spheres, sectors of the market. Apart from suiting, they are entering the real estate business, engineering, as you have mentioned. So they are spanning up on other areas, and why not? So there are a lot of opportunities in India. What precisely I look at it, they are concentrating on businesses that will drive major chunk of revenue from within India, which I think is a very, very positive sign, considering the kind of brand value Raymond has. So I think this is a good move.
Okay. I think we also have Vineet Bulinchkar back with us on the program. Hi Vineet, we wanted to discuss the Raymond story also with you, as I'm given to understand that you expect in the note that you've shared that about a 1380 rupees kind of a listing for Raymond Realty. Could you give us more sense of how are you expecting the listing to be, and what is your suggestion to the clients?
So basically, they've got a very good land bank. They're developing 40 crores currently. They have another 60 crores in pipeline, six JVs already signed up, and waiting to get commercial production. Apart from that, they're looking at newer JDAs. So with them focused in two markets, which is Bombay and Pune. I think these are the fastest growing markets. We don't, and there is real consumer demand out here, especially the suburbs of Mumbai, which is MMR, Navi Mumbai, are all developing very well. Redevelopment has got a real shot in the arm. So I expect this company to do very well going ahead. Uh, you know, Top line growth of 22% supported by about similar growth in terms of profitability. We think that there is a decent upside to be made from owning these stocks.
Okay, and if I have to, ask you to choose in terms of a pecking order, what would you do with the Raymond stocks now?
So Raymond Limited, shooting's the one looks very good. I think as I pointed out earlier in the call that we are expecting very strong growth in textile, so they will do very well, and that is followed with realty, because my view in realty is not that completely bullish. I think the Gurugram market uh, has is very overheated, and that can also impact overall profitability and in sentiment of the sector across India if that market were to start tumbling down.
Okay. And apart from Raymond Realty, also there'll be many other new listings that will happen today. Kalpatru, Ellen Barry. Any suggestion on any of the new listings or IPOs that have come in? What have you really preferred?
I think Raymond Realty is the one to go with. We have a very good understanding of their business model. So we will, if I were to put my money between the three, it would be with Raymond.
Okay, fair point. Well, Vineet, thank you so much for being with us on the program and helping us with your view there on the whole host of sectors on the markets and of course on Raymond as well. We will of course be looking at a 10 a.m. listing and then we will see how the stock moves ahead from here on. Okay, we'll continue our conversation with Gaurav in the meanwhile as well. Gaurav, apart from real estate, what else is buzzing in the space today is oil and gas again, half odd percent higher. We do know the immediate trigger has been the softening of the crude oil prices for at least the upstream companies and the downstream companies as well. But how are you looking at the oil and gas? Does it really offer a structural opportunity or is it just momentary right now?
I think we have to stick with the basics here. That I'll personally prefer stocks like Indian Oil Corporation. The OMCs are well placed. Indian Oil is yet to move when we look at other refining stocks, namely in Petro and BPCL. They have delivered some kind of a run up in the recent past, but IOC being the largest one is yet to do it. So I think it will not fall behind much for a much longer time. A fresh up move above 150 is pretty much due, and once that is taken out, the stock will head towards a level close to 160, 160 to 165 zone. So that will provide us a good buying trading opportunity there.
Okay, fair point. So that's the oil and gas story for you. Let me also just pick up a few points, where else we can be discussing with Gaurav at this point. I think IT sector is again picking up some pace, about 1/4% higher in trade. IT will be the first one to look at from a week from now when we will start to get some earnings, previews, and of course, then later on from about 12th of the month, we will start getting the results as well. Any suggestion on how to approach the IT sector ahead of earnings? Last time around, the quarterly earnings did provide that fuel to the IT sector as a whole to move up after a long haul of consolidation, and the earnings were not as bad as worse as they were being expected, and therefore the stocks did have a move up. What about in Q1?
So I think, yes, you have rightly said that things were not that bad when it came up with their real figures as they were being anticipated and talked about. I think that's the way we should look at IT currently as well. We expect that IT will continue its performance. In a week's time or so, we would see some kind of a concrete deal or notes from US coming in, and the hints that we are getting is that they will enter into a good deal with India and China, and IT being the largest exporter of the servicing business from the Indian side. So I think that will be emerge as a major beneficiary. Apart from this, also that the when we look at the US, growth and the economic structure, also they are also performing well now. So that will also boost the Indian IT sector. Overall, I am optimistic on the IT space.
Okay, got that. So that's the IT view that we are getting. Let me also pull up a few more spaces then. Let me talk about a few stocks now and we'll take your view on that front. I'll start off with Reliance Group. First, Reliance Industries, the parent company itself, and I wanted to understand what's your fresh view here. We've been seeing again a fresh bout of momentum come in. The stock is now above 1500 odd levels, again another percent up today, and that's also largely on the back of the move that has been continuing. It's at the day's high as well. There are brokerage houses reports that are also coming up with higher targets of even upwards of 1800. Nuvama has come out with a buy rating and an 1801 target. They believe the company is now on track to probably move up higher from here on. There are several triggers that they are betting big on as well. How would you look at Reliance? We've had long haul of consolidation on this space as well, but do you think Q1 onwards we are going to be probably seeing a much better move on Reliance as well?
Yes, overall, Reliance is moving up with a positive bias. We have witnessed a range breakout that lasted for almost 4 to 5 weeks, and the breakout happened somewhere around 1470 levels. The target has already been achieved. near-term resistances are placed around 1530, 1515 and 1600 zones. So I'll be a little cautious as far as trading is concerned. But if you look at a long-term view, maybe a year and more, that yes, these are good levels. Another 3-4% dip from these levels will provide us a good buying opportunity.
Okay, and what about Geo Financial? How are you looking at that one? Again, that's also moved after a long haul, now near to 330 odd levels. What's next for this one? Are you betting big?
So it is the NBFC space that is buzzing, and Geo Financials is doing just right on that front. 360 is the immediate level that we are eyeing at.
Okay, fair point. If I have to ask you then, Gaurav, to choose between the existing financial players, the large ones, Bajaj Finance, Bajaj Finserv, the recently listed ones like Bajaj Housing Finance, the upcoming HDB Financial, so much of action in the NBFC space. How does an investor really pick and choose? Because most of these, companies belong to big conglomerates. They have great parentage. They, some of them have had an extremely long history of continuing to provide a lot of wealth creation to investors. Yet there are some others that are just making a mark right now and debuting on the D Street now. So how does one really pick and choose?
I think this has emerged too big now, and just from being a sideline sector of the financial market, this is all set to becoming a frontline sector now, supporting the Indian financial system. With having a 150 crore population, I think some business of into the financing, may it be short-term financing, may it be vehicular financing, or housing finance companies, they are all good at the moment. They will perform in the near term. With the softening of interest rates, they have an advantage now, and I think it is always better to have all of them in the kitty. Namely, one should have a housing finance company, one should have a consumer finance company, and also an overall company, somewhat like Bajaj Finance for that matter. From the housing finance space, we like LIC Housing Finance, Avas Housing Finance within the smaller space, and also the likes of Geo Finance for the trading positions. So it is better to have all of them in the kitty and park some their money in all these stocks.
Okay, fair point. So that's the financial services space for all of you to really look at, and the kind of understanding that you should have before you go ahead and look at some spaces there. IT is in fact picked up more pace now as we speak, 0.6% higher. It's the top moving sector now. Let me just quickly look at the index contributors and see if there is any IT name that's sprung up. It was only Reliance Industries, HDFC Bank first. Now, yes, it's Infosys that's contributing. TCS, HCL Tech also now picking up some pace as far as the IT pack is concerned. So that's the one that's moving smartly higher in trade. Gaurav, do you still have a preference between the large and the mid-cap IT names ahead of the earnings as well?
Yes, we like stocks like Wipro, which are available at very attractive
Okay.
pricing. And the kind of acquisitions Wipro has done in the past years will start providing fruits going ahead. So, keeping a 3 to 4 years investment horizon, Wipro is a good bet at current levels. From the smaller space, we continue to like stocks like Emphasis. They have already run up, but if any kind of softening of prices is seen, currently it is quoting around 2870. If we can get it closer to 2750 odd levels, it will again become a very good buying opportunity. If someone is holding it, I'll advise him to continue to hold on to his position. It is, a good up move is likely, and in the next, 2 to 3 quarters, I see the stock touching levels close to 32, 3300.
Okay, fair point. I hope this has also helped all our viewers really understand, how to go about this space as well. Let me just bring up a few more stocks from the mid and the small cap space for all our viewers to see where the action is continuing to be. Yesterday also these spaces were outperformance. Today also there is some uptick on the space. IDFC First Bank is moving up about 3.5% higher. You have Bharat Dynamics, Mazagon Dock from the defense pack that's moving up. Vodafone Idea slightly higher. Polycab cap. Jubilant Foods is up in trade. You also have Escorts Kubota just down. The sales figures have come in for this one as well. So that's also in focus. Biocon, Emphasis. These are the other pockets that are moving in the mid cap pocket. Let me also read up what's happening in the small caps. A few stocks there. HBL Engineering is nearly up 4%. JBM Auto is another one. Naveen Fluorine is up in trade. Zen Tech again from the defense pack. Data Patterns also from the same, that's moving up. BEML from the PSU space up and about. Ramco Cements is also higher in trade. Let me discuss the cement basket with you. Gaurav, have you been looking at the cement space of late? What's looking good? How is the space really moving up? Initially, about a year ago, it was all about big mergers, acquisitions happening, deals taking place in the cement basket, thereby changing the way the hierarchy will be seen in terms of the biggest players and the smallest players there. How are you looking at the space right now?
The space is looking very attractive. Generally, it is seen that the monsoon season is not too good for the cement pack. Why not so? The sales lay low. But what we are witnessing in this season is they are all broadly trading near their highs. Let's talk about Ultratech Cement for that matter. It is trading around 12,000 plus levels. This is a breakout trend for the stock, and I think if we can hold it for a 1 to 2 years perspective, this stock can provide easily returns close to 25-30% from the current levels. Apart from this, there is another stock that currently we are eyeing at. It is Ambuja and ACC. Both the stocks are looking very good. Ambuja has already given a run up, but ACC is yet to start. So I think if somebody is considering for a 1 to 2 months perspective or even a longer term perspective, from both ways, ACC is a good bet at current level, trading around 1924. The risk is very minimal. One can take a closing stop just below 1800, hold the stock for some time, and I think levels close to 2200 and in the longer term 2500 is pretty much possible.
Okay, got that. So that's the view that's coming in there as well. Let me just now highlight for all our viewers, some of the other spaces. Yeah, have you been looking at the railway move of late, Gaurav? Is this something that is having some kind of steam that can push them further, or is it only going to be for a momentary kind of a move that we are seeing on the railways right now?
I think now we should look to railways as a long-term bet. Just like what we have seen in the defense pact, railway has showcased the same kind of a move 1.5 years back. Now it is in a consolidation phase. The valuation ran ahead of their the prices ran ahead of their valuation. So now they are into a consolidation phase. Investors needs to hold on patiently. This is a long-term story and a story to play in. All the government moves are clearly indicating that a huge infrastructure spending will continue. They are on the spray of that, and railway will play a vital role when it may it be the for the logistics purpose or for transfer human transportation. Railway sector is witnessing a complete changeover, and why not so? It's been 100-year-old infrastructure which is now being changed, upgraded, and a lot of technology transformation is also witnessing. I think this is a good bet, but a long-term play.
Okay, got that. So that's the railway long-term story as it is going to pan out as expected. Okay, some of the pockets that have slipped in the trade in the first 20-25 minutes of trade. Nifty Bank, financial services, private banks, they are down. Even PSU banks are down. Pharma, metals, consumer durables, they have also lost some steam. This is despite India VIX also cooling off now to 12.6 levels. That's down by 0.6%. Infra names are actually pulling up high, about 0.5% as well. Let me just read up a few names from this basket. What's up and about? We were talking about the cement space, and infra is also moving up. You have names like Siemens, Tree Cement, that's up in trade. Cummins is also higher. Adani Group, some of the stocks are also moving up. Gaurav, do you track the Adani Group stocks at all? Are you looking at them closely? What's happening there within the group stocks, and what is it to your liking?
Yes, I've just spoken about ACC Ambuja. They are also part of Adani Group
Yes.
now. And apart from this, Adani ports remain in our favorite list of stocks. Adani Power, recently a good move, a good news came in that the Bangladesh government has cleared their dues. So all of them are positive news, and they will have their impact in in the near as well as in the longer term.
Okay, let me look at the Nifty 500 names to see what's buzzing here. I think what needs a mention is Gabriel India. It soared to a 20% circuit. It's hit a 52-week high after the company has talked about how the board has approved a composite scheme of arrangement aimed at consolidating its business operations to drive further growth and enhance competitiveness as well. So it opened only with a circuit. You can see a 20% up move of 842 odd levels being seen in today's trading session, and there has been the street restructuring scheme will involve Gabriel India, Asia Investments Private Limited and Chemo India Private Limited, and under the scheme of arrangement the auto business undertaking of AIPL comprising of business and Chemo, which is engaged in manufacturing of brake fluids, radiator coolings and diesel exhaust fluid as well, PVC based adhesives, all of this will be combined and restructured as well. So that's something that's pulling the stock higher right now. Have you been studying this stock, Gaurav? Gabriel India, what according to you is something that one should really look at as an opportunity for the long term here?
I think now it is too late when we talk about Gabriel. It has already ran up too much. The journey has started, a couple of days back when the stock was quoting around 600. Currently, it is at, a level close to 850 now. So that has already ran up. We cannot buy it today. It is at upper circuit limit. We'll have to wait for the circuit to open, and once that happens, it is very difficult to catch a stock that is already at a 20% upper circle. We'll have to wait for a dip here, and then to consider it for an entry. And again, it will be not for trading, it will be for a longer term perspective.
Okay, fair point. Taking the next question also with you. Let me just highlight a few more stocks from the Nifty 500 and then we will take the next question. SML Isuzu is higher in trade. You can see about a 5% kind of a move on this one. You also have names like Pokarna, that's up. Quick Heal Technologies, Endurance Technologies, that's also moving higher in trade. Swan Defense is up today in the Nifty 500 basket. Many such stocks that are moving higher within the same space as well. Okay, let me ask you on this as well, since we are talking about the auto components and auto space. M&M and the deal with SML Isuzu, how are you looking at this shaping up and what opportunities that come in for investors at large? Should one continue to stick with M&M or is SML Isuzu also something they should be looking at right now?
Until the point that this acquisition is completed, one should stay on invested with the SML Isuzu, and it will provide a much needed boost. And I think 2400, 2600 levels can easily be achieved in the near term itself. When we talk about M&M, it is a much larger player than Isuzu. From the truck segment, tractor segment, car segment, they are performing in all the spares. They have done a lot of acquisitions of late, whether it is related to technology or maybe the car designing companies from Europe. So, and eventually all of this has turned out well, which is clearly being reflected in their numbers. So, we cannot combine both of them. They are a complete different things now. So, as of now, investors of M&M, of course, they have a different streamline, but for investment of SML Isuzu, they should go on investing, stay invested.
Okay. Okay, got that. So that's the view that's coming in. Let me also bring up a few more pockets that we can discuss with Gaurav, and very quickly, if you could mark out a few stocks also within the Nifty next 50 names as well. Anything that could catch your attention. Avenue Supermarts, after a long haul, there is some uptick coming in on this one. Consumer durables, some names are higher. You have Havells that's up in trade today. So consumer durable names are also coming back. Do you think with the upcoming festive season, consumer durables could again get some fillip, or is this going to be a lackluster space?
I think the festive season is always good for companies like Avenue Supermarts, people do a lot of shopping, and the results are reflecting in the forthcoming quarters. So, Avenue Supermart is always, has been a performing stock. It is consolidating. When we look at the larger picture in the immediate trading front, it is all set to, go up towards 4600, as the immediate targets, and in the medium term, 5052, 5250 levels are also pretty much possible by the year end also.
Okay, fair point. I hope this has also helped all our viewers really understand. Okay, Gaurav, towards the end, I'll just come to you to understand what exactly should we be, now expecting in terms of the strategies that one has to follow in the second half of the calendar year. Where do you think one's focus has to be? And in case one has to really restructure their own portfolios, what is the best way to do that?
I personally advise traders, investors to concentrate on sectors that are India specific. In a simple sense, जो इंडिया में बन रहा है और जिन इंडिया में बिक रहा है means the consumer is also Indian. So these are the sectors that I will personally be preferring. They will be least affected from all the noise that is coming out from across the globe. We have settled our internal issue, and things are pretty much positive. So let us concentrate on that. And yes, 25 to 30% of the portfolio can be, kept in for other opportunities from sectors like auto and IT, which drive a reasonable parts from export business.
Okay, fair point. That's exactly the strategy that we will definitely chunk out for all our viewers to really see as to how to go about this space. Also, Gaurav, wanted to understand from you, if one has to really create a diversified portfolio, so far in the last 1.5 years odd, those who were also betting big on gold and silver have actually had, good set of the portfolio run up, because equities have been resilient, even if not outperforming, but gold and silver have also provided that edge at this point. US markets are higher today, have been again hitting record high levels, so they are improving. Those with the international market exposure are also looking at these highs. Indian markets again trying to regain all those highs as well. Gold and silver continue to remain firm at this point in time. So if one has to have a multi-asset portfolio, what is the strategy that you're recommending right now?
See, the precious metals space has proven time and again that they are a long term story and their shine is here to stay. Gold trading in the six figures was, just a talked about thing. Now it is a reality. We have to understand this thing that it is a precious metal with limited reserves. So whenever there is a problem on the global front, globe will see, gold will see buying. When we talk about silver, it has a large industrial use as well. So it has their own set of sectors and set of usages that drives its value. So these are spaces that we cannot ignore when we talk about multi-asset class allocation, and we just cannot neglect it. A reasonable part has to be parked within this space, and gold has proven that every dip in a gold, every 10% kind of a dip in a gold is a buying opportunity. So whenever we have spare cash left and we see a dip, it is clearly a buy on gold because it's 10 years, 20 years, or maybe 5 years. Whatever way we look at its performance, the dips were bought for, and gold has been a consistent performer.
Okay, fair point. Gaurav, I'll also come to you to understand about the new listings that we are going to be seeing today. Of course, Raymond Realty is something that we have already discussed, but there's also Kalpataru Limited that will be listed today. There is Ellen Barry Industrial Gases that will be listed today, and Globe Civil Projects as well. Out of these three, have you tracked any IPOs for an opportunity for investors? Is this a space that interests you at all?
Yes, we are tracking Kalpataru, and it is it is fairly placed. We have recommended a subscribe rating on the same at the upper band. That is 414. The company is trading at 3.6s of its price to book value and the price to earning of 55. So we think that even a reasonable start to Kalpatru, uh, reasonable start listing of Kalpatru is expected, but in the medium to long term, this stock has potential to perform.
Okay, so Kalpatru, and which is the second one that you like?
We even prefer not the one that is being listed today. We like the sum of steel tubes.
Sambhav steel tubes. So tomorrow
Yes,
is when you would
yes,
be looking at it. Okay, Kalpatru and
yes.
Sambhav steel tubes from the new IPOs that you are clearly looking at. All right. Okay, we will be definitely waiting by to find out how the listing really happens. But I'm just going to be highlighting for our viewers to know what exactly should one be expecting. Kalpatru Limited is a real estate developer. It will debut today, and the IPO had garnered 2.26 times of a subscription for the closing day of the bidding last week. We also did see that the qualified institutional buyers here received a 3.12 times subscription. NII subscribed 1.3 times. Retail received 1.29 times of a subscription as well. And Kalpatru also garnered 708 crore rupees from the anchor investors before the IPO. So that's something that Gaurav is preferring out of the listed, newly listed space or the new IPOs that have clearly come in as well. So that's something that we can definitely keep an eye out on. Okay, Gaurav, we will then thank you for being with us on the show today and helping us with all your insights on both the listed space, secondary, and as well as the primary market space for all the action that we can expect. 25,570, we are inching higher in
Thank you.
trade, but our clear focus will be on the IPO debut right now. We will continue to highlight for you all the details that you must know about the three IPOs that will be listed today: Kalpatru, Ellenbari Industrial Gases and Globe Civil Projects, and of course the demerged listed entity of Raymond Realty, which will also take place. So a lot of action on the newly listed stocks that you can keep an eye out on. My colleague Pawan Nahar is now joining in to share with us all those details that you must know from these IPOs that will be listed and what is the expectation on that front. We will also be joined by a top market expert to guide you through all of these companies and what his own idea of these IPOs is. All right, Pawan, if you could help us understand, starting with Kalpatru, Ellen Bari and Globe Civil, what has been the subscription details, what has been the kind of updates that the brokerage houses expect from these newly listed stocks. Pawan, could you unmute yourself? We couldn't hear you. Yes, Pawan, if you could just go ahead now.
Companies Kalpataru, Ellenberry Industrial Gases, and Globe Civil Projects made their stock market debut today. All of these three IPOs were open for subscription between June 24 to June 26, and they cumulatively raised more than 2,560 crores. So Kalpataru, which was the biggest IPO of these, they were listed at the stock was listed at 414 rupees on both BSE and NSE, which is the issue price, and the list has been a flat listing for the Kalpataru. Allenberry, it was second biggest IPO, raising more than 850 crore odd rupees, and the stock was listed at uh, 492 rupees against the issue price of 400 rupees, which is roughly around 23% of listing gains for the investor on BSE. And while on NSE, it was listed on 486 rupees, roughly around 22% of premium. So it has been a decent gains for the investors. Globe Civil Projects, which was the smallest among these issues, raising around 119 odd crores. It was listed at 91.1 rupees against the issue price of 71 rupees, a premium of roughly around 28% rupees, 28%, while on NSE it was listed at rupees 90, premium of 27% odd percent for the investors. So the listing, Ellenberry and Globe Civil Projects has been on a premium of somewhere around 23 to 28%, while the Kalpataru IPO, it has disappointed the investors. If you
Okay.
talk about, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So let me just reiterate for all our viewers, Kalpatru is seeing a flat listing on, of course, you will be seeing some visuals from NSE right now as well, but that's what is being indicated right now, a flattish listing for Kalpatru. Ellen Barry Industrial Gases, about a 23% of a premium listing to those who had applied for the IPO at the upper band at 400 levels. You tend to gain about 23% listing, and Globe Civil, there is about a 28% listing. So out of the three, it is Globe Capital that's providing a premium, highest premium between the three on the listing point as well. All right, apart from this, of course, Raymond Realty is another one that we will be watching out for today, and that's also going to be important to really see. For all those shareholders of Raymond Limited, you tend to gain one free share of Raymond Realty in case you had the shares of Raymond Limited in the month of May of 2025 in your portfolios, and from that time on you tend to gain this one. That's another one that we will be watching out for. Yes, Pawan, go on and help us with more details that you have on the newly listed stocks.
So Sakshi, you just mentioned about Raymond Reality. So Raymond Reality, it is settled at 1,005 odd rupees on BSE as of now,
Okay.
and against the separated the deducted value of 1,031 rupees. So it is below the price. And SBI Securities, it was expecting this in the listing at around same price. Coming back to the three fresh listings today, which have kicked off their innings at on the Lal Street. Kalpataru, Ellenberry, and Globe Civil Projects. So these three companies, Kalpataru received the lowest bidding because of considering its valuation concerns. While Ellenberry and Globe Civil Projects, they received a decent subscription, and that's why they have delivered a listing pop. And the vision is for Ellenberry, it is for long term. It is compared with Linde India. It is into the industrial gases market,
Okay.
and and Kalpataru, it is into real estate business, and uh, according to the market experts, the real earnings will be on the table after 2 to 3 years when there will be more cash flows for the company. So that's the vision for Kalpataru as well.
Okay, fair point. So that's the vision for Kalpatru as well. So Kalpatru, Ellen Barry and Globe Civil Projects, that's what we are looking at. 10 a.m. is exactly when you get the final price for all these IPOs. We also have Mr. Ambarish Balika joining in, market expert, who's going to be sharing his views on this primary market space with us and the new action that we're seeing. Amrish, from welcome. Good morning to you and good to have you with us on Business Today, as is always. So much of action in the IPO space and in the newly listed space today. Four new listings is what we are going to be seeing: Kalpatru, Ellen Barry Industrial Gases, Globe Civil, and of course the demerged entity from Raymond, the Raymond Realty division as well. All of them are already gearing up. So we have some indications that, Pawan, my colleague, has just highlighted. Kalpatru expected a flat listing, Ellen Barry about a 23% premium, Globe Civil Projects also about a 28%, while Raymond Realty could be listed at 1,005 odd levels is what is getting indications of. Which one are you more, promising on at this point in time?
In fact, after a long time, we are seeing, so many new issues and fresh listings on the same day. And if you count tomorrow's also, I think there'll be
Yes.
another. Out of these, I think Raymond is one which is interesting because this was a long-awaited demerger of the Raymond Group, and this I think is the final demerger. Before the demerger, the combined entity, which is Raymond and Raymond Reality, was quoting at about 10,000 crores of market cap. This was on the day of the record date. Raymond's opened, in fact, at about 4,000 crores of market cap. So it was expected that Raymond Reality should be opening at about 6,000 crores of market cap. But instead of that, we are seeing it's opening at about 6,700 crores of market cap. I mean, if you're talking of levels of about 1,000 odd, it's about 6,700 crores of market cap, which shows that it's opening at a premium to the ex merger valuation. And those who are interested in the reality business of Raymond's would surely be buying this because, end of the day, they are leaders in the Thane area. I mean, where I think they have about 25% of the overall projects. In Thane, uh, belongs to Raymond. And again, I think they have grown decently well in the rest of the areas, especially because of the Raymond name, and they've been able to deliver much earlier than the projected dates. So I think they've established a good name. So and the sort of growth which you have seen in the past couple of years, as far as the reality business is concerned for them, I think that's been good. So I'm quite sure we should see better levels than the listing levels what we're seeing right now.
Okay, Raymond Realty looks the most promising. At this point in time, it's listed at 1,000 levels against the discovered price of 1,039 odd at this point in time. But that's clearly seems to be a space to really watch out for. In fact, Mr. Gautam Hari Singhania had joined us, a few days back, and he did highlight that he expects the highest growth opportunity within the real estate. Although he did say that all the three divisions will continue to create a lot of shareholder value going forward from here. Of course, lifestyle has always been seen as the prime business, but at this point in time, he's also excited about what opportunities comes in from the aerospace and defense for their engineering division, which will be reflected via Raymond Limited as well. So he was talking about that he is going to Paris, and there is a lot of inquisitiveness from across the globe on what kind of exports or opportunities within India, within defense, aerospace and defense can be found. So within these three verticals now, how would you choose as a market participant which story to track?
I mean, when you're talking of lifestyle, I think is decently tracked. Reality is something which people are waiting for. But Raymond's, the rest of the business, the engineering business, is something which was hardly tracked by any analyst. And out there, if you see, it's an ancillary for aerospace, for defense, for precision engineering. And I mean, from a market leadership perspective, in steel files, they have 25% of the global market share. In rings business, they have about 10% of the global market share. And if you see the last year, I mean, FY25, we saw the revenue from these businesses actually double to about 1,824 crores, 13% EBITDA margins, expected to grow at about 15-20% for the next 3 years. And most of the analysts were not even tracking the stock. So once people realize this, I think, I mean, we have seen that move in the stock in the last 2-3 days. I mean, I've spoken about this stock about 2-3 days back. And after that, we've seen an extremely good move.
Now, I wanted to also talk about Ellen Barry Industrial Gases. The stock has moved up further after listing at around 486 odd levels. Now it's at 514, 28, 29% higher from the issue price there. It almost is in the same business, like Pawan was also highlighting, my colleague who's joining us before, that it's in the same business as Linde India in terms of the industrial gases as well. How are you looking at this opportunity, sir?
No, Ellenberry, I think, is in a decent business because I would say quite a niche because there are not too many companies, especially larger ones, in this area, and that too in East. If you look at the PAT margins, about 26% PAT margins, 17% return on equity, and they will be using these funds to repay the debt. So, in fact, the balance sheet would also get into a better position. And if you look at the subscription figures, and that's something which I think investors should look at for most of the IPOs as to how much of interest is there from QIBs. Because if you look at the QIB participation, it was about 65x, whereas HNI was about 15x, and retail was just about 2x. And that's the key because you've seen it's about a 20% higher, and from there it's moved up further. I think so. That's the key to investing in IPOs. Check out the QIB investment.
Okay. Let's talk about then, Kalpatru, the real estate space. This space has also been buzzing, I think, from last couple of years. It was one of the outperforming sectors as well. Only in the last 6-8 months, there has been some amount of consolidation. Before that, it was a lot of stocks were also buzzing here. Here, the QIB portion got about 3.12 times subscription,
Right.
and the listing has been flat here, although. So, is Kalpatru up against, big players, massive players with big market share? Will it be difficult for them to establish a mark there? What are the things one should really look at here?
No, see, I mean, it's a decent name in the Mumbai market. It's the fifth
Yeah.
largest developer in the MCGM area, and the seventh largest in Thane. But the issue with them is the balance sheet. Because there is a decent amount of debt on the balance sheet. We are not seeing profitability. If you look at EV by EBITDA, it's I think about 186x. So I think the valuation is weighing against the company. It's not the brand name. It's not the market they are in. So I think that will take a while for them to repair and move up the value chain. So I think it will take a while. So even at these levels, I will not really recommend buying into Kalpataru. Let's wait and watch.
Let's wait and watch. Let's talk about the last one then, Globe Civil Projects. It's got a listing which is positive for sure. Right now it's trading about 25% higher from the issue price that came in 88.9, 89 odd levels is what we are seeing on this one. Here again, it was the non-institutional investors portion that got the maximum subscriptions of 143 odd times. QIB was about 99.7 times here. Civil construction, infra space, looking at how the country is looking at massive infra developments, what kind of opportunities exist for this one, and who is it competing against in the listed space?
No, see, I mean, finally it's a EPC company, and among them, it's a smaller one.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say it's very exciting because one should be only looking at the larger EPC companies. And in fact, this issue should have been an SME issue and not the main board issue. But anyway, it
Yes,
came up.
the smallest.
And because of which we saw a huge oversubscription. I
Yeah.
would say that those who have been fortunate to have been allotted in this IPO should utilize this sort of a move which we are seeing. I'm not saying it'll start correcting from here. Possibly the momentum can continue a while longer. But then I would look at it from a longer term perspective. So utilize this move, keep a trailing stop loss, and exit when you start. Like when you see the stock has topped out. I think over the next 2 or 3 weeks, it should top out somewhere.
It should top out somewhere. Okay. So out of these four, Raymond Realty is your top choice from the newly listed stocks.
Yeah, I would say Raymond Realty and Ellenbury.
Ellen Barry. Okay, these are the two stocks. All right, Ambarish, thank you so much for being with us on the program and helping us, probably just have some clarity on all the listed spaces. There'll be so much of confusion among investors where to put their money on day one. But exactly, you've really helped us understand how to really look at each of the businesses and where do they stand in terms of balance sheet and the opportunities ahead. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time as always.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us. All right, viewers, right now we are at 25,544, slightly higher in trade, so 30 points up, largely being pulled by the infra space, auto, oil and gas, realty, but the big heavyweight sectors are actually staying away from contributing. You have the banks that are down, you have the IT space that's down, you have even the financial services, metals, pharma, all of them also slightly down in trade. So it's a volatile start to the D Street as of now, but the Nifty is just managing to pull itself up above 25,540 odd levels. Let's see whether this continues for the better, and there are more kind of action that we can actually look at. Of course, auto space we will continue to look at throughout the course of this session because of the sales figures that are coming in. Stay tuned with us on Business Today Television. A lot more for you to really track today.